we've been building this community to counter war, to counter militarism, and yet now here we are again bombing Iraq. So, we're celebrating our victories and also recognizing the losses, both with war and militarism, and then losses within our own community. Of our friend Jacob George recently passed away.
And I want to talk about Jacob in a moment, but Brock McIntosh, what are your thoughts on the current bombing of Iraq and Syria?
Well, I think the media has often portrayed ISIS as being some organization that just suddenly emerged over the last year or so, but this is the same exact organization that many of my allies in IVAW were fighting when they were in Iraq. And, nearly 10 years of going to war with ISIS, with several 100,000 American soldiers on the ground, wasn't able to eliminate ISIS. So it's strange to think that some limited airstrikes over the next few years will be able to destroy ISIS. And reports from the FBI have shown that recruitment for ISIS has actually grown since we started bombing them.
Scott Olson, how did you come to fight in Iraq?
Well, I joined the Marine Corps right after I graduated high school. Our country was at war. I felt like it was the right thing to do, to step up and to defend our freedoms and democracy.
Where did you grow up?
In Wisconsin. And right after I joined, I went to Iraq within about a year after I joined the Marine Corps, and that was in 2006, and I was in Al Anbar province, where it's a majority Sunni population, which is where the Islamic State is making huge recruitment gains, and it's the population that they are recruiting.
And your thoughts right now on this renewed war in Iraq?
I mean, it's a renewed war, but it's really the same war. Just because we left, just because our military left, does not mean the war was over. It's the same conflicts and the same tensions that we played a big part in stoking. And, these are the consequences of war. 10 years later, it's the same thing.
I find it just a little ironic that it seemed over the course of the Bush administration, the country really turned against the occupation of Iraq and wanted the troops to come home. And then last year when we saw a proposal to bomb Syria, there was great opposition. But now, with all the fear-mongering that's been going on, it seems like just kind of overnight now a majority of people support bombing Iraq, bombing Syria, and even the idea of sending more troops back into Iraq, which just seems like a recipe for just continued long-term destruction and catastrophe, both for the U.S. soldiers involved and then for the people of Iraq who've been living generationally in war and conflict. I mean, so many of these fighters in ISIS now are people who were kids when I was in Iraq, living in a constant state of disorder, violence, and conflict and occupation.